Well, good afternoon. I'm sitting outside. It's if I sit near the house under the umbrella, it's in total shade. If I sit in the summer house, it's 37 degrees in there, and it's just too hot to sit in there. And this little corner, although it's getting a little bit of sun, there's still a bit of shade. It's kind of in between, so it's a bit more comfortable. So I thought I'd sit here for a little while and just do a bit of a catch up. Now, something that I've really noticed and I've spoke about before is the building site that's to the back. I mean, you can probably hear the workmen talking. It's been really noisy again today. They took out a hedgerow and loads of trees, and that had a devastating effect on the bird population. There was other wildlife was impacted as well, but it's the birds that I've noticed the most. Now, I've got all my bird feeders, and throughout most summers and early this summer, I found I was filling up my feeders at least twice a day, because the birds were just taking everything so quickly, feeding their young, and there were just so many birds in any case. But now there's just never any birds in the garden, just very rarely. You get pigeons and collared doves, but hardly any sparrows, hardly any starlings now. And the bird feeders, I can fill them up and they can remain the same for days on end, hardly touched at all. And it's actually had a greater impact on the garden than I'd anticipated. I had to take out all of my sweet peas because they were infested with green fly. They were getting powdery mildew as well, so they were looking straggly, but the infestation was so huge, I just wanted to get the green fly out the garden before it spread, and I didn't want it getting in the house and attacking all my house plants. So they went, and then I had some sweet corn that was black. It was absolutely black with black fly. So I got rid of that as well. And I mean, we all get pockets of these aphids, there's no doubt about it, but I do think the bird population can control it to a degree. These were completely out of control, it was awful. But even more devastating now, and I've never experienced this before, I've heard other people, I think some of you subscribers have even mentioned it to me before, but I've now got flea beetles. I have had an infestation of flea beetles on my leeks and I've lost everything. Now I've got an Enviromesh up. It's been up since they've been sown, and they've managed to get into that somehow because they're so tiny, and they've devastated the plants. So I do think it's probably a lot to do with the fact that there's just no birds in the garden now. And I've noticed in most plants, if I sort of have a root around, there's black fly everywhere now, and I've never had it that bad before. So if you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments below what you think about it. I mean, I just think it's really sad. And you can probably tell there's no bird song in the background anymore. It used to be a cacophony of birds. It was a real joy to be out here. I could sit and watch them dotting around the garden. But if I was to pan round now, you'll see there's nothing. There's no birds on the rooftops, there's no birds in the sky. It's just desolate. It's very sad. On a good note, I think it's a good note. Got wall-to-wall sunshine. I mean, it is hot. We're going through a heat wave. Got a week of this in the mid-30s. So it's very hot, hotter than it's been since June. But at least it's not raining, and we're always moaning, so I'm happy. I've got a nice glass of water, and I'm sitting in the shade. Well, it looks like I'm losing all of my leeks. It's not allium leaf miner grubs, it is the flea beetle. Never ever experienced this before. Don't think I've ever had them in the garden, and now I'm absolutely plagued with them. They're all over the netting. This is a really fine mesh and it hasn't stopped them. It's covered, absolutely covered. I've sprayed them with SB plant invigorator, but it's not done a thing, so now I need to get some neem oil. But oh, horrible. Don't know if I can focus on them. There's just thousands of them. They're everywhere. Thing is, I don't want them spreading to the rest of the garden. So this is all my leeks, and they're all going to have to be lifted. They're absolutely covered. I don't know if you can see it. Absolutely covered in flea beetles. Now, the recommendation of the RHS, I've bought this. I don't like using sprays. It says it's organic, but I've absolutely doused everything and it has killed them immediately. So my plan is I'm going to leave it an hour to make sure everything's dead, and then I'm going to lift the netting and lift all the plants, bin them. I can't keep any of them in case there's any in there. And I think what I might do, I might put down a layer of cardboard and then top it up with compost, and hopefully if I leave that for the autumn and winter, hopefully that'll be the end of it. But if any of you have got experience of flea beetles, please let me know what you've done to rid yourself of them, or can you get rid of them once you've got them, because this is completely new to me. It's just galling, isn't it? Right, so I need to lift them one by one. So there's a possibility I can salvage these. I mean, they'll have a proper wash in the kitchen, but they can soak in there for now. Well, I'll come back to you when I've finished. But the bed's empty. So I can still see a few escapees. Just run my foot over them. Oh, they are horrid. They are really quite horrid. I think that's got to be one of the worst jobs I've ever done in the garden. That was disgusting. But these have been saved. I've stripped them till they're clean, and then they've been washed 3 times now. So I think what I might do is just slice them up and freeze them.